Have you ever wondered why majority of Kenyans they usually go broke 10 days after they get their salary? And by the way, talking of majority of them, you're actually talking a figure of 65% and over. Majority of Kenyans actually go broke 10 days after salary. Guess what? Today I'm going to share with you, on this video, I'm going to share with you exactly some of the characters that actually take or make these Kenyans to go directly towards that direction. All right? Sit back, watch this video to the end. By the way, this is quite interesting points. This is what you've been looking for and asking yourself, what the heck is my money going actually? I mean, after a few days, I do not have money and all those kind of things. You might be affected by some of these problems that I'm going to list out, share with you today on this video. And by the way, do this. If you don't want to miss any of my good videos in the future, do this. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free of charge. Down below there is a small button written subscribe. It is in black. Hit that particular button, turn the notification bell, and guess what? It will do me a very good favor as well. Like this video and comment down below. All right? Now, let's get into the point. Point number one, you find that these guys called Kenyans, they are actually what we call, they are party throwers, or we are known for what we call what we are party animals. I do not know whether you've ever spent your time in this what we call the Nairobi nightlife or something of sort, or if you go anywhere in this country. By the way, sometimes who I interact with foreigners and they tell me, hey, anytime you want alcohol in this country, you will get it. Anytime you want to throw a party, be it either early in the morning, late evening, whichever the time the party is running. It's like generally, I really wish if this country was like a first world country whereby in terms of economies, I believe this country would be known for big, it's like it would be a whole sort of a Las Vegas or something of sort. Because this country is known for our parties and parties after the party. All right. Now, the point is this. Now, what are the repercussions that comes on top of that? One thing that you're supposed to understand, hey, we really strive when it's between day 2 to day 30 before we get our salary. We strive, we do the best we can so that we get the money. Immediately after getting it, everything is like we say, the hell broke loose, and we get ourselves out there, we throw parties, and guess what we do? We don't actually account for anything that we do with our money. By the time we realize like it's day 10, we are like, oh my goodness, I'm running out of cash. I don't know what exactly I would do. I'm contemplating actually going out there and borrowing from some of the apps and what have you. And again, that's another convenience whereby you can always get the loan. And guess what? The banks are always there at your doorstep. Then they tell you, guess what? If you would like to get a salary advance, we can always give it to you. No problem about that. Because they know at the end of the month, hey, a salary shows up each and every time. And then there you are, you're saying, okay, no problem, give me that salary advance. And by the time you realize, you're actually in a mixture of confusion, you're broke, you're stressed. And actually, let me tell you one secret. Whenever there is a problem in your pocket, whenever there is a problem in your finances, head tends to spill over towards the social life. That's the time you start rubbing shoulders with your partners and what have you. So one problem that is actually affecting our pockets in this country is throwing party out there. Did I say we shouldn't throw parties out there? Did I say that we should not be happy in something of sort? No, I did not say that. All what I mean is this. Make sure that at least you monitor how much you actually dedicate towards throwing this party. Way before you get your salary, have the budget and ask yourself, fine, I get myself 50,000, I get myself 100, 200, or whatever the amount of money. Now, out of this 2% or 3 or 5%, I should dedicate it towards throwing parties, the rest for normal day activities and what have you. So it's good to make sure that you understand that thing. The next thing that you find this is that most of the Kenyans disregard or don't embrace things that we call the financial literacy. Dare tell a Kenyan, I would love to advise you on how you're supposed to manage your money. They tell you, no, no, no. Whoa! I mean, you want to advise me about money, how I'm going to use my own money? You want to advise me? I mean, I'm an adult. I know how well I can do. I mean, see, by default, they usually have this understanding that by default or by virtue of you being an adult, then everything is okay and you understand how to use your money. Unless you find them where they're actually cornered somewhere, where they're thinking a lot and they tell you, hey, guess what? You know what, bro, I think I have a problem. I think I would like to have a talk with you. And I think there's a problem with my finance. And that's kind of the responses I usually get. There was a time I tried to approach an individual whom I thought, well, I understand that I wasn't, minding my own business. And I was like, this guy is actually, misusing his money. And I was like, hey, you know what, bro, I would like to have a conversation about money. I think what you're doing and this. And they said, no. You see, you don't advise an adult, okay? You don't do that. You don't do that. I'm okay. I'm an adult. I'm fine. Everything is good. Until a certain time came and the guy was cornered and was like, well, in Kenya we say, uko home, yeah? Meaning like, are you available? And I say, yeah, I am. And the guy came and told me like, guess what? I think I'm at the corner. And you see how they want to bring it to, they don't want to make it look as if they actually squandered their money. They want to make it look as if there was an emergency that they hit them, took all the money and all those kind of things. But you understand, hey, guess what? They are now actually realizing that they're doing something wrong when it comes to finance. So it's good to embrace the financial literacy, understanding about the finance. Don't always believe and trust yourself with all the money. If the government doesn't trust you, I mean, why do you think they usually cut their taxes way before you get your salary? Why can't you just give the entire money and they tell you, hey, you know what, sir, I would like you to, pay the taxes and what? Do they know they can't do that? Immediately the salary gets in, they usually cut their pay. All right, let's go to the point. The point number 3, you find that after all, they will blame it on the government. Yeah, see, in Kenya, let me tell you one secret. Welcome to Kenya. In Kenya, we always love to attach every problem, every challenge that we face to government. Hey, were it not for the government, this wouldn't be there. I'm telling you, even this El Nino, were it not for the government, advising us in advance, we would be facing this. Hey, were it not for the government, that earthquake should have not, were it not for the government, the cost of living. And what? They disregard what's happening out there. For example, if you can just be a little bit of guy who loves to research and find out what's happening outside the world, you find that some countries are actually at a more problem than we are in this country. But guess what? What we do is that, hey, we are facing problem because we have this as the leader, or if maybe we had the other one as the leader, or maybe you get all this. We actually attach all our hooks, all the blames to anybody who is out there, just to make sure that at least we are okay and all those kind of things. And I'm telling you, this is quite a real issue. And this idea is actually bought by majority of Kenyans, and they say that's true and that's a reality. We fully accept if government actually can do one thing or the other, this would be. And by the way, I as Joseph here, I'm not saying the government is doing the best. I absolutely understand there's some areas where we actually should blame the government. But again, before the government actually is blamed, it's always good to make sure that we take what we call the individual responsibility. And let me tell you one secret. If today you can get out of this country and go to quite an advanced country, when I say advanced, I don't mean in terms of economies. I mean in terms of civilization and literacy. You realize those countries, you find like just maintaining your lawn, meaning making sure that at least your compound is clean. That is not the responsibility of the government. Okay, that is the responsibilities of you as an individual, collectively as a community, collectively as a region, as a country, as a county, and what have you. And at large, the nation is actually clean. They always say, like, if you can clean your house and two steps out of your door at the doorstep, then the entire country will be clean. Can you just look example what's happening here in Rwanda, just next to our country? You realize that country is actually embracing some culture of cleaning their country, being responsible. You find their motorcycle riders there, they usually have their helmets on, they have their reflector jackets and what have you. Rules are followed. You see, before we actually blink, for example, if you've ever tried to travel using this Nairobi-Nakuru highway, you realize that a lot of traffic are actually violated, traffic rules and regulations are actually violated. All right, sometimes as a little bit back then, I was actually rubbing shoulder with a certain guy because he was just driving in a very ruthless way or something of sort. So the point is this: it's always good to make sure that at least don't blame everything on the government. There's some of the responsibilities that you're supposed to take as a human being, so that hey, guess what, this wasn't right and this should haven't been done and should be done this way. And then after you taking the individual responsibilities, now you can look at what the government can actually do on their side to facilitate development. And the fourth one is actually called the heavy reliance by their family members. You see, we may have a very innocent guys in this list, people who actually, they know the issue to do with savings, they know how to invest, they would love to grow, they don't squander their money, they are not party thrower, they are not all those things, but they have one problem that they cannot shake off themselves, and that problem is the family members' reliance. You find, like, in this country, you find majority of people came from actually a very humble background. They left their siblings out there, and they're actually one of the should I say favored people in their families, and then they have to do something back at home. And then you realize these guys, they have the capability of actually growing themselves and taking themselves to the next level. But guess what? The hooks that they have, or they have a lot of people who are actually dragging their foot. They have some brothers to educate, to pay school fees, that is. They have some sisters to do the same. They have some rents to pay for their parents. They have some of them have like sick parents back at home, and God forbid, and all those kind of things. So you realize one thing: these guys, they would love to save, but again, the reliance that they usually face from their family members is quite actually steep. And by the way, you guys, if you're out there, if there is something that you should always pray that you should never get your family, it's about the sicknesses and what have you. You know, as back then when I used to grow, I used to be told by my parents, like, there are two things that can actually run you broke in your life. One, it's about this Casey thing. Casey, I mean, like, you know, always you're in court about, you know, all those things. You have the lawyers and what have you. Another thing is about, you know, sicknesses and those. If those things can actually get out of your life, things can be amazing. So this one about the black tax, I don't want to really talk much about it because there is nothing you can do about it. But I made a video and I said, hey, if you would like to handle them, there are some of the strategy that you're supposed to use out there. But if you can be able to support them, at least uplift them, so that the entire family can actually be somewhere where we can say, hey, nobody can say, like, everyone is actually independent by their own selves. That would be the most amazing thing that is out there. So being relied by their family members is actually a popular problem that is running people broke. Okay, the last one, but not the least, is that cultural practices and, you know, and beliefs, e.g., like, hey, they usually say it's a day by itself, and some cultures and, you know, some things actually drags us backward in terms of how we perceive money, in terms of investment. Have you ever met somebody who has a very big chunk of land and they can't do nothing about it? They say, hey, this is ancestral land, it ought not to be sold. And let's say they have been approached by a very big farm, they want to buy that land so that they do the development and all those kind of things. So fine, I know you may say you're not supposed to sell land and what have you, but again, if that property is not there to help you, then I don't think you should not even have it, because you're supposed to understand how you're supposed to actually leverage on it, subdue it, so that at least it can be beneficial to your life. So the point is this: if you can actually monitor all these problems, you can be able to realize something at the end of the day. Now, the point is this: if you can be able to incorporate these things and understand this is what the things that are actually affecting you, and be able to shake them off and incorporate budgeting to your money, then I am telling you, being successful, having some money in your pocket, it will be inevitable. It won't be a question of if, but it will be a question of when actually you start embracing all these practices for the sake of your life. And guess what? That marks the end of my video, but it's not the end of me posting a video each and every day. So if you didn't love to miss any good of my videos in future, do this. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free of charge. Down below there is a button written subscribe. Hit that magical button, like this video, and comment down below. And by the way, guys, what topics would you like me to talk about? Just share your idea down there so that at least we can be able to grow each other and move to the next level. And by the way, you can pick my number from the same description about this, my own contact. You can give me a call. We can talk about business. You can as well grab my booklets about investment. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.